Alright, so when it's lower, does it sound okay? It should still sound good. I need to just stop being a baby and record the video. Okay, I don't know if that's loud enough. Hang on, let me... Damn, that's fucking hard. Hey everybody, hope you had a good holiday. I had a pretty good holiday. I received 4 lumps of coal from a creature that lives and lurks in the depths. Okay. I hope you all had fun celebrating whichever holiday you celebrate, and I hope you got some gifts, maybe, for enduring your Republican right-wing uncle talking to you about critical race theory for far too long. And if you didn't get any good gifts, I have one for you. Today we are starting a new series called The Good, the Bad, and the Painfully Mid. This is a new series where I deal with no white man with a mustache on the internet has ever done, and review things and give my shit opinion on it. And with this new change, I've decided that we should start it off with a bang. So we are changing the hierarchical fuck. How do they even say that? We are changing the hierarchy. We are changing the power hierarchy of YouTube reviews forever with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's alleged passion project, Black Adam. If you're anything like me, you watched the first trailer for this movie and went, "Oh, this looks horrendous. This looks really boring and silly in a bad way." And spoiler if you felt that way, you were right. By the way, I'm starting a new era here where I'm standing, and it feels really weird because I have this weird cadence to my voice because I'm standing that makes me feel like I'm doing a stand-up routine. Ooh, dude, that's gonna be a joke. Get over it. If the mic is in front of my mouth too often, shut up. I don't know how to do it. But back to that trailer, I don't know if anyone is as bothered by this shot as I am, but I think it is cartoonishly ridiculous, and it's in the movie. It's this one, like where he gets punched up into the air and flies up like a Looney Tunes character. It doesn't make sense in the context of the movie. No one else cartoonishly moves in that way. It's just this one dude, and it's really odd. And from the first trailer, I could tell that this would be a corny, nonsensical superhero jargon of a movie. And it wasn't very interesting or refreshing in any way from the trailers. And neither is the movie. I wish I could say it surprised me and gave me some new outlook on storytelling in a superhero genre, but it didn't. It really didn't. So let's run it down review style. Yeehaw. I'm gonna put the review hat on for this part. But so here are the cast and characters of the movie that you need to know before we even talk about the content of it. First, we have Alexandria, played by Sarah Shahi, but they sort of portray her in like a criminal Indiana Jones sort of way, like temple runner, grabbing artifacts, things of that nature. And in this movie, she's trying to find a crown to keep away from Intergang. It'll make sense in a bit, and it probably won't. It doesn't make much sense. And so we're instantly going to go away from characters. Intergang is the police state that has enacted sort of martial law on the land of Kahndaq, which is where Black Adam, Teth Adam is from. And it's just sort of a country that is oppressed, and it's horrible, and it's oppressed by... I don't really know what Intergang is, or their government affiliation, or anything really. Maybe it stands for the US? I don't know. It should. But both parties are looking for a crown that turns the ruler of the land into Satan. Actually, literally Satan. This movie is all over the place, and I promise we will get there. Secondly, we have Alexandria's son, Amon, who is really weird. Like a really weird character in this movie. He literally has the same amount of screen time as his own skateboard. Every time he is on screen, the skateboard is also there. He's either riding it or carrying it, and it's odd because he is always riding a skateboard, even at a walking pace. We will also come back to him because it is some of the roughest child acting I've seen in a while. It's not fully his fault, probably more child directing. It's very awkward, most of the movie. Third, we have Uncle Kareem, who was an enjoyable character to watch. He was sort of the comic relief, funny guy. He was the guy in the trailer who was talking, I don't even remember what he said, but I guess it was played up for laughs. I don't remember. Uncle Kareem, played by Muhammad Amir. He's very good, very interesting, plays the role very well. I enjoyed him. And now we're getting a little far into the character section, because there's a lot of fucking characters in this movie, and they don't really get fleshed out much at all. So I'm going to group these 4 together. This is the Justice Society, which in itself could probably be a different movie. They're very different. It's kind of weird. They're like a secondary Justice League made up of different members. In the comics, they have multiple makeups of different heroes on the team, but in this movie, they go with Dr. Fate, played by Pierce Brosnan, Hawkman, played by Aldous Hodge, Cyclone, played by Contessa Swindell. Then there's Atom Smasher. That's Adam, A-T-O-M, not A-D-A-M like the titular character. And he is played by none other than Noah. I wrote this joke down and I'm just going to read it. There is no delineation between my neck and my head, Centineo. I was very taken aback seeing him on screen for the first time because I had no idea he was in this movie, like at all, until I watched the movie and he showed up. And I was like, hey, why the fuck is he here? Oh no, my ears are falling. Go back up. And we have Ishmael, who is smuggling the crown out of its location with Alexandria, sort of on the same team as Alexandria and her brother Kareem. And at the beginning, we're supposed to believe they've all been friends for quite a while, but then he dies instantly, or does he? It's very cliche. And lastly, we have our star, Teth Adam, played by Dwayne the motherfucking Rock Johnson. Honestly, the characters don't mean much because none of them get really a meaningful arc. Even Black Adam, his arc is kind of weird because he learns something and then learns that it doesn't really make much sense and he is a liar, and I don't know. I don't really know what the message of this movie is. But here's your plot for those characters. Kahndaq is an ancient civilization that has been around for ages and exploited for a mineral called Eternium by outside forces more powerful than the natives who live there. We see a backstory of a child rising up to protest the warlords enslaving the people, then is killed, but really teleported to a wizard, gives him the same powers as Shazam. If you saw that other movie, it's the exact same thing. Once he has his powers, it is told in legend that this child defeated warlords, and once he was done, slept for 5,000 years until the present. And boom, time jump. You've never seen that in a superhero movie. Brand new. Black Adam did it first. We see Uncle Kareem, Alexandria, and Ishmael in a van as one of the officers sees a picture of Alexandria on his little wristwatch iPhone thing because it's in the future, but really it's in the present. They get through with the help of a distraction by the skateboard kid, and they make their way to the Temple Mountain thing where they believe the crown to be. Hijinks ensue, and inevitably Ishmael's the bad guy to some degree, and we will find that out later. Alexandria is put in a position where she awakens our titular character, Teth Adam. He then disintegrates like 200 people off the mountain, then flies off. So they take him back to their house, and for some reason he can't fucking comprehend what a door or a doorway is, and that is the bit they play for most of the entire movie. It happens so often, it is annoying. And the worst part is, I know that they had doors in 2600 BC, because doors are a common concept to enter a fucking structure, and they show that there are doors. So the idea that he can't walk through a door without busting through a wall is fucking insane, and it makes me upset. It's annoying and stupid. He like casually destroys their entire house almost. Like their entire apartment is like destroyed by the end of the movie for a bit, and like they acknowledge it. Why do they acknowledge it? This is not a good bit. Your all-powerful God doesn't understand what a door is? Put him back in the tomb. He doesn't deserve to be here. He's not ready for windows. He will collapse and fold at the sight of a transparent solid material. He is but a pigeon at the hands of a backyard door. This joke was made for birds and my friend John. This is the worst part of the movie. It's so dumb. It's not bad. It's just personal. I hate this part. It's so stupid, and like the whole movie, I could feel it. After that, I kind of forget what happens, and I'm not watching it again. So eventually, they introduce the Justice Society through montages and little IDs of like what they do and what their powers are and who they are and whatever. And fucking dude, if Dr. Fate and Hawkman aren't the coolest character in this entire movie, possibly the entire DC like movie universe, I don't know who would be. I loved every second they were on screen, and they were friends, and both Aldous Hodge and Pierce Brosnan kill their roles. They're great. They have such good chemistry on screen. It's incredible. I love seeing them on screen. Wish this was just a JSA movie. Hawkman really hasn't been brought to the big screen, so it was really interesting to see Aldous Hodge's take on it, and he really killed it. I love the way he looks. I love the costume design on both of them. It's really, really interesting. Cyclone was cool, but they give her this weird, like, romantic subplot with Big Neck because he's Big Neck, and he has to be the romantic person in every single movie he's in, but they're not on screen long enough for it to matter. it just kind of fizzles out and leads to awkward scenes between the two. And it doesn't matter because we won't see them again. They fight for a little, and since The Rock has a clause in his contract, allegedly, that he can't lose a fight in a movie on screen, like he's a Wild West hero, Clint Eastwood, who gets cast as the hero in every movie. But eventually he is convinced that he brings more harm to the world than good by the Justice Society, and reveals that the kid who got the powers was actually his son in the beginning, and that he was given the powers once his son gave them to him, and then his son died. So he became like this vengeful monster that killed a bunch of people, and that the tomb wasn't really a tomb for him to sleep. It was like a cage so that he didn't kill anybody. And he's just kind of like a warmongering freak, like full of rage. Like, I get it, like your son died, but it's like the only part of this movie that's like, I'm an anti-hero, is that he was a villain and is still kind of a villain. But it is quite funny to see Skinny The Rock. That was really funny. Digitally altered skinny Dwayne The Rock Johnson was really funny. But yeah, they locked him up because he sucked and not because he was awesome. Ishmael gets the crown and has skateboard kid Amon hostage. And Dwayne The Rock Johnson goes to save everybody. But then, if I'm remembering correctly, the crown kills Ishmael and then he gets sent to hell. And since Black Adam has like no control of his powers, he almost kills Skateboard Kid. So then everyone's mad, but they think they killed the villain, but not really. This movie's really fucking weird. Then we're introduced to the only through line in the DC movies, Amanda Waller. For 10 years of movies, she's the only thing that's in multiple movies as a plot point and not just a cameo at the end. They take Black Adam away, he gets locked in his little water cage and loses his powers. 10 minutes later, the Justice Society go to fight literal Satan. They're not making any money in China off this movie. I hope The Rock's team cut that out of their league. Through the power of friendship, Dr. Fate reaches out to Mr. Atom and they break him out of his water cage telepathically, where he does some cool slow-mo punches, and then he comes back and he literally rips the horn off Satan, and he kills him. Dr. Fate is killed, but his friend Hawkman avenges him by helping kill Satan. Thank God it's over. I don't want to watch it again. Oh yay, there's a post-credits scene. I wonder if it has anything to do with the future of the DC Universe movie-wise, or if it will just be a cameo from someone who will be fired quite literally weeks later. Oh, it's fucking Superman. I can't believe they got him back in this movie and he like made a ton of money to do a cameo and then 2 weeks later gets fired. That's horrible. I want Henry Cavill to have a good Superman movie. He's not going to anymore, but I would have liked to see it. But it's quite funny that The Rock was like, get this dude in here so I can show him I'm fucking awesome. But then won't cameo in like Shazam or The Flash or any of these movies. He won't cameo in Shazam, which is literally the character he was created for. It's really stupid. This whole thing is a fucking mess. Oh, and Black Adam got benched by James Gunn also a week after Superman got canceled. And you know what? I get it. Coming into this universe as James Gunn, it's probably miserable. It's like a bunch of loose ends for 10 years of trying to catch up with Marvel's juggernaut of a movie series. Honestly, clean slate, wipe it fresh probably is the best option. As much as this movie was hyped up by The Rock and his team, it never really was going to be anything incredible. Outside of a fun-to-watch third act that doesn't really make much sense, it's really boring and works at like a breakneck pace. Some of the scenes are way too quick and some of them are really slow for no reason. Justice Society was really cool to see on screen, and I can't stress enough that I hope James Gunn brings back Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. Maybe put him in the Justice League. For the next section of the video, we will be reading and responding to the notes I made while watching the movie. Doors and doorways definitely existed in 2600 BC. Wall breaking to door walking ratio is 3-to-1. We already talked about the door thing. I won't go on any further. Why doesn't he vaporize the child? They made this kid so fucking annoying, and I can't even express it. Why is he always riding a skateboard? Why isn't he scared of the dude who vaporized 200 people in front of his mom? Why is he acting like he's a pet? Why does the catchphrase bit even exist? It's kinda stupid. Why when he yells in that one scene he gets quieter than when he was talking before? Why is he on the skateboard all the time? Please pick a different prop for like 2 scenes. Self-explanatory. I wrote that this feels like a Zack Snyder cosplay movie, which is true. The entirety of the film feels like everyone on set was trying to replicate like fitting in the universe of Zack Snyder's like weird commercial movies that are like really long commercials. Like, it all has the, like, modern mythology vibe, which is a cool take, but it obviously didn't work very well. Maybe I'm grasping at straws. Zack Snyder fans, please don't crucify me. I don't care. The Justice Society just, kind of exists? Question mark? It's really weird to retcon, like, that a super team has existed in this universe, because there have been a couple world-ending threats that they should have been there for, instead of, like, this other one. It doesn't really make sense. Noah Centineo is here. Yeah, I really don't know. I laughed, like, out loud when I saw him on screen. This is so weird. Watching the movie feels like a very weird experience because you've heard about it for the last 10 years, and then it's just kind of boring. Honest to God, I don't really get it. I don't get why The Rock has the hype he has. I think he's pretty annoying, not very interesting, not a very good actor. He just plays The Rock in every movie. Like, even in this movie, he's trying and it just doesn't really hit at all. Like, this could be a fully original character, like, void of DC or Marvel, and just be like The Rock and the super guys, and that would be the same movie, I think. Like, he doesn't really imbue any of the characteristics of the character from the comics or prior adaptations. It's just kind of, he decides what he does. And not to mention, like, the outside interference of Dwayne The Rock Johnson on, like, every property he touches. Like I said, he has a clause in his contract, allegedly, that he can't lose a fight in any movie on screen. Just really weird and, like, outdated. He doesn't take the responsibility of being in, like, a superhero universe, which is, like, maybe that's corny and cringe to say, but when you sign up for, like, these franchises, you kind of have to play the part. Like, everyone in the Marvel, and, like, even in the DC movies, like, for a while, were very, like, outwardly expressing that they wanted to be in other projects or, like, build this universe and make it fun. And that's what I like from a superhero property. Like, I like movies like these. Like, I want them to eventually get to the point where they're just kind of like the comics, where everyone's a new issue and everyone knows each other. That's why I like She-Hulk. I don't know if I'll make a video on that and get a bunch of incels coming on my channel and being mad. I don't know. But he also, like, has talked about how he is such a big fan of Black Adam, and that he this movie has been in the works for like 15 years or whatever. That's just not true. Like, he had an open deal with DC for the last 15 years to play any character he wanted, and Black Adam just ended up being the one that got greenlit because he was gonna also play Green Lantern, and that didn't end up finishing, like, the way that they wanted, so they didn't do that. And so he's just kind of lying about it being like a passion project for 15 years. I don't know. Feels kind of icky and gross. He seems to just want to be, like, the coolest guy in all of pop culture, and the coolest people in pop culture right now to a lot of people are superheroes, so he decided he wanted to be one, but he wanted to be a badass one, and he fell flat, because this is really boring and lame. If your movie sucks, it sucks. I don't really care. Coolest movies work because everyone's willing to play the part, and willing to play their part in the larger whole rather than just their character. And Dwayne The Rock Johnson does not seem to want to do that. Rock Rant has concluded. Now we are putting our first rating on the board of the scale of good, bad, and painfully mid. And drum roll, but it's actually an EDM breakdown, please. Thank you. Painfully mid. Yay! We got the funny one. It's not the worst movie ever. And that makes it worse to me. I can't even watch it in a so bad it's good way. It's just kind of boring and uninteresting to watch. Wish it was cooler, but I will not give it any credit because I am a hater. So that is the video on Black Adam. Let me know what you guys think of the new series, and if there are any, like, things you want me to cover. I can do movies, shows, games, music. I don't really care. I'll cover whatever. I don't really have a set idea as to what we're doing on the channel yet where we can't do anything else. Like, I just want to make videos, and if anyone enjoys them, then we can keep making them. I'd like to open my horizons to things that you guys really want me to enjoy, and then I get to call it bad. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, idiot, moron, losers. Also, I'm going to interject this in because I just recorded the outro. If you would like to, if you want to, like, subscribe, leave a comment about, like, what you want to see or what you thought of Black Adam. Maybe listen to my music. I'll link everything below. My Twitter's down there. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you when I have another video. My finals are over, so I get to crank in some videos here. See ya.